All right. Looks like it's all good now. Even got the notification. All righty. Do. What's up, Daniel? How's it going? Still getting everything all kind of set up. Kind of got a fun stream to do tonight, I think. Bills getting blown out by Justin Herbert in the wild card will feed families. It'll be generational. It would be really funny, though. No, one of the funniest outcomes of this weekend is the Bills losing to the Patriots and the Chiefs winning and clinching the 1 seed. It's just like, well, there you go. Especially because again, I don't know if everyone's seen Buffalo's new uniforms. Have you guys seen them yet? Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on. I got one of the Bills jerseys hanging up right there. I got Khalil Shakir's jersey the other day. I'm not lying. That's actually Shakir's jersey. Buffalo Bills. Here we go. This is their official Twitter. We're dropping a new uniform. This is a brand new one. See, told you I have a Shakir jersey right in the back there, right there. It's not a Drake May Patriots throwback. Oh yeah, by the way, all the comments. This top one's really funny. Cool new look. Are the Bills the only team to be named after an actual person, i.e., Bill Belichick? Get it? Well, Mahomes probably isn't hurt that bad. It's the annual Mahomes is hurt injury. Let's see. Oh, I think they got rid of all the. Okay, how about we use the Patriots throwbacks, but we use our own helmets? They're okay. They got rid of all the They got rid of all the ones that were flaming them, Fernando. What's up, Spears? I mean, they're nice. They look cool, but it's kind of just like I don't know if they'll be allowed to wear those next season because we're about to have a color combination that is exactly that as our main uniforms. Because I don't know if it's the best kept secret in sports, but the Patriots are probably retiring that uniform combo as our throwback. Because again, after you play and you win 6 Super Bowls with a very specific uniform look, one that you changed for that era, you should probably just, it's time to change it up a little bit. So the fans want to go back to Patriot Pat. And we're going to be wearing our reds again as our primaries. So I don't even know if they'll be allowed to wear this combo ever again, unless they're supposedly getting a red helmet, which would go along with this and make it okay. But still just kind of funny. Just kind of a funny bit of by the way, thank you guys for showing up. Make sure you drop a like. It helps the stream out a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of just, a few things. But yeah, there's a lot of very funny outcomes this weekend that could happen, but they don't feel likely. How likely is it the Patriots win this weekend versus Buffalo? 100% likely they win? 95? That the Patriots win. The Bills aren't very good. They're if I'm around, yeah, if I'm able to. I'm doing some traveling this weekend, and I don't know what exact time or what exact day it's going to be quite yet. I want to cover the Bills Patriots because I would like to see the upset, but it's not going to happen. It would be very funny if this is the game that does it, because again, that would really fuck their season up. And it would destroy some of the confidence of that team and be like, God damn it. Why the Patriots? It's a bad omen. Yeah, but can you guys stop us from scoring? That's the question. Are you ready for Drake May? You guys haven't been very good on defense the last 2-3 weeks straight now. If I remember right, the Rams beat you. The Lions still put up 42 points. And Goff actually played better quarterback than Allen did. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Mac, I think that was last year, though. I don't really use last year to determine how this year is going. I don't think the Jaguars lit the Bills up. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I think you guys should be very afraid of Mac Jones or of the Drake May Patriots. Could be an upset. The Ravens Steelers play. That's a huge playoff weekend kind of game. Yeah, the Rams and the Bills. Well, the two best offenses are the Bills and the Lions in that order, I believe. Statistically, like touchdowns scored, offensive, just like yards put up and all that. I think it's Bills, Lions. Maybe Ravens. Maybe the Ravens are third, then it's Bengals, Bucks. The Bucks are the funny team when you like think about the 5 top offenses. It's like, okay, Bills, Lions, Ravens, Bengals, which is like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. They score like 40 a game and lose, so not that big of a surprise. They're up there. And then it's like the Buccaneers. And then you go and look and you're like, oh, Baker's got like 31 touchdowns? How the fuck did this happen? Yeah, Fernando, exactly. It's not going to be like the Bills win 24-17 over the Patriots. It's going to be like the Patriots upset the Bills 33-30 on a weird ass like 64-yard kick. And like literally we'll win on like a crazy field goal where it's like 65 yards. Like we may even set the record and win the game on that. And then it's just like, oh, that just happened. That was real. And then we get to act like it was an easy peasy, always going to happen situation. But most likely the Bills win by about 50-3. Chiefs lose in the divisional round. What are you on? Campbell has a lot to offer. Wait, Campbell has to have the offense. Yeah, I think so. Richard, I think you're right about the way the Lions are going to approach the game because throughout most of the year, they've been kind of going for like ball control, keeping the team off the field, kind of long offenses, not a lot of scores. I think fundamentally they're going to try to score as many points as quickly as possible now. So fundamentally from Detroit, you'll probably see them try to get out to like a 3-4 touchdown start, like right away. Their first 4 possessions, they're going to really try to score on all 4. You may even see them go into like a no huddle type situation in those drives to score, like, and do it quickly to try to, number one, put pressure on the team to show them the Lions aren't fucking around. So you're going to have to score and you're going to have to score a lot or else you're going to get left behind. That creates pressure on an offense. And then they're also going to build pressure on an offense that way by the Lions probably will score on their first 4 possessions unless they shit the bed. So you can't, again, that's like, you have to score or else you're going to fall. Like, it's like the way you can build pressure on a team, especially a team that's been kind of falling apart like Chicago. The Vikings did it. They just didn't score as often. You can take away the run. That takes away that problem by scoring very, very quickly. And then when you get the ball back, you can then, when you're up 28-7 or some shit like that, 28-10 or whatever the score winds up being, then you can slow it down, run the football the way you want to, take it, a lot slower, let your defense get some rest. But again, that first like 2 quarter, like the first 25 minutes of that game is the Lions are going to be on like a hell pace. Like it's going to be a really weird game to watch. Because again, you have to kind of switch things up. You have to give your defense room to make mistakes, room to not panic if they start driving. It's like, all right, we still, okay, we gave up a touchdown. It's not a big deal. Don't panic. We have a 21 lead. But that's probably how the Lions are going to approach the rest of the games this year. And they're very capable of doing that. The only reason they don't do that is because they do try to have long drives. If you see them fail on drives, typically what happens is is they're trying not to like make it a 5-play score drive. Because they can probably, what were they doing against the Bills? Like 4 or 5 plays and putting the ball in the end zone. So most likely we'll see the Lions kind of adjust the way they focus on it. They'll go to 3 plays and score. They don't give a shit now. They that's better for them early in games. So again, don't be surprised if you see the Lions come out in like a 2-minute offense kind of situation very early on. I want Mayo coaching for his job in 2025. I just don't feel like this. The Patriots should fire Gerard Mayo. There's no reason to keep him. I will make a bet with you. If the Pats win, I will only talk. Okay, that sounds good, Spears. I don't think my team's going to win, so I'm not sure what we're betting here. I hope you know, I'm pretty sure your team is going to destroy. I don't know what bad things may happen to my football team in this game. I don't care, Fernando. A bad coach is a bad coach. He showed 0 improvement from year to the start of the year to the finish. That is something that is fireable to me. If like we could see like improvement, like it's one thing, right? It's like, yeah, I don't really care about bad record. It's the lack of improvement in what he does as a coach. Like Dan Campbell was shitty when he first started, but by the end of the year, you've seen like the signs of a very competent head coach, right? Like, dude, like he threw players under the bus again today. Like he keeps blaming the players for the bad play and like record and stuff. It's like, are you ever going to blame yourself and your coaches? Nope. 0 accountability. He's like, the players got to execute better. They like asked him if his coaching was something. He's like, no, we're fine. The players need to execute better. And it's like, oh yeah, I got to fire him. You got to get rid of him. Dan Campbell took all the blame for that 48-42 loss. He's like, this is the coach's fault because we didn't have these guys ready to play in this game. This is our fault. What's up, Space? So you know what I mean? Fernando, do you see the marked difference in the way, like, have you ever heard Dan Campbell throw a single player under the bus? Gerard Mayo threw Kayshon Boutte under the bus today. Like, directly named him for poor play. And it's like, what the fuck? Who does that? Why does he do that? No, that's a bad coach. No, that's Dan Campbell is Bill Belichick never did that shit either. Bill Belichick would blame himself, all his coaches, before he ever fucking blamed a singular player. Or like blamed players. You don't do that as a head coach. You fall on the sword. That's your job. The head coach and the quarterback fall on the sword for the team. Everything else, nobody else should take any blame for how the game goes. And Gerard Mayo's out here trying to be like, blame Kayshon Boutte. Fuck him. And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, it's Alex Van Pelt and Kayshon Boutte's fault we lost that game. Fuck those guys. And it's like, weird. Why is he doing this? Yeah, exactly, Space. And the Patriots are an undisciplined mess that fucking make terrible coaching decisions consistently. Again, Fernando, we're a 7-win team with a better coach, by the way. Those games we lost at the end, that's just bad coaching by Mayo. We could have won every one of those close games we lost this year. They're all very, very winnable. We should be a 7-win team right now, but we're not. Hell, we probably should have beat the fucking Cardinals, too. They didn't play that game very good. We could have won that shit. But again, we just did dumb stuff for the entirety. The reason we have to play so protective with Drake May is shitty coaching, because we should be fighting for that fucking spot. Look at with slightly better coaching, look where we'd be in the playoffs. We would be probably, 6-8 or 7-7. Better coach knows how to argue to make that call not happen. Like, Mayo didn't even try to like argue that it was a touchdown. He just went, that's the right call. Do you know that's what he said after the game? He just went, that's the correct call. The refs make the right call. And it's like, what the fuck? You know, that's literally his reaction to that play was the refs made the correct call. So yeah, it probably actually is Mayo's fault that fucking call got made like that. No, he can't say. He didn't say anything. He didn't go to the officials and ask for an explanation as to why the fuck that wasn't a. He just does nothing. Dude, he doesn't do anything. Fernando, the way we get treated by the media by the refs is a direct result of our poor fucking coach not talking to the referees and asking them to like officiate the game correctly. Dan Campbell talks about how he talks to the refs and goes like, yeah, I ask him to like explain things to my players. I ask him to do this. I ask him to do this. Do you know why Terry and Arnold stopped getting so many fucking pass interference calls? You know why they slowed down anyway? Because Dan Campbell had him talk to the refs. Do you think Gerard Mayo does anything like that ever at all once? Do you think he even knows how to talk to her? He doesn't talk to the refs. He doesn't yell at them. He doesn't do anything. He's a pussy. I'm tired of it, dude. He's a bad coach. What's up, JoJo? We should fire him, hire Mike Vrabel, or hire Ben Johnson, or get somebody else. Like it's not that hard. Or Brian Flores, one of those guys. Those are all better options. I mean, at this point, hell, even the Vikings OC would be a good option. We'll see, JoJo. Effectively, the Lions defense is now exactly what it was last year, right? I mean, it is. That's basically what they're down to, is what it was last year. So for the Lions, how far can they get with that again? They got to the NFC Championship game with that defense last year, so we'll see. We'll see. They just don't have Aiden Hutchinson. That's the one big key missing piece, and that's quite the piece. If they could get like one decent veteran to come like sign with the team, that'd be so good. But then his fucking ass probably get hurt too. Every year there's one team. What was it last year? I believe the Philadelphia Eagles. Every fucking player on the Eagles just kept getting hurt. It'd be like, oh, he's healthy and he's hurt again. Well, he's healthy and he's hurt. I believe that's part of the reason why the Eagles season was so poo last year. The Lions beat my Eagles in the NFC title game. They will have to make it to an offensive showdown. I don't know if that's possible because the Eagles defense is playing unreal. Yeah, that's really the main thing. That's my main question is in the Lions-Eagles matchup. I don't know how everything plays. It probably... No, you guys play on a grass field. Lions probably play pretty good out there, actually. Lions are good on the road, too. So that's... I don't know. It's an interesting thing. And also depends, like, they might have guys back at that point. They should have Carlton Davis back by that point. That would be their starting corner, so they'd have him back. They'd have Anzalone back by then, who's actually supposed to be back by the Vikings game. They may have Derek Barnes back by then. I have to look into that one. I know Hutch is supposed to be back right around that point. Like, they get shockingly healthy pretty quick. Like, it's like one of them things where, like, if they can get to the next 2 weeks, they get like their starting linebacker back. And then they have Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone. And then like that's starting to look pretty good again. Plus you also have Jamal Adams playing in there alongside Quan Alexander. That's a pretty good rotation of two guys. Again, things start to improve, but there are some heavy losses. Carlton Davis is only out 6 weeks with a broken jaw. We'll see with the Vikings. Hold on a second. Should be 11 or 12 and a half. I think it's the injuries for the Lions and it's a division game on the road. Yeah, Vikings are interesting. I got to see what they look like now that there's a pressure cooker on them right now. Like the next 3 weeks really shows me like what a lot of teams are going to be made of, because again, they can't afford to lose a game or Detroit can clinch the division the following week. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, if Minnesota loses and Detroit wins, and then Detroit beats San Francisco, that's it. That's the division. Like, there you go. They're Minnesota, you know what I mean? So it's like, and what happens if Minnesota loses to the Seahawks, loses to the Packers, then gets beat by Detroit, who isn't even trying? And it's like, well, fucking Minnesota ain't doing shit, you know what I mean? Then that kind of, we see what they really are against three very good playoff teams. A first place team for now, the Lions, who are fighting for the 1 seed, and the Packers, who... I don't know. They played really weird for like 2-3 weeks. Yeah, The Lions don't even theoretically, if the Minnesota loses one of the next 2 games, Detroit does not need to care about Week 18 if they can win 2 straight. They got to beat the Bears and they got to beat the Niners. And if Minnesota loses to the Packers or to the Seahawks, Seahawks or Packers in the following 2 weeks, or that Detroit wins the division. So Detroit could theoretically make Week 18 irrelevant if the Vikings trip. And that's what Detroit really wants, because theoretically, if Detroit, say Philadelphia wins out and Detroit just forgoes the 1 seed, because again, Detroit's undefeated on the road. They've been a very good road team with Dan Campbell. They're very comfortable going on the road. So again, if they have to, they'll go on the road. I don't think they're very super concerned with the 1 seed, because if they want to, they could use Week 18 as a bye week. You know what I mean? It's almost like they probably take that week not as serious if they lock everything up in Week 17. You know what I mean? Just because it's like, well, let's not risk it. We can, because again, if Minnesota loses another NFC game, Detroit wins the next 2. It's like, we can lose this game. It don't fucking matter. 1-1 head-to-head versus Minnesota. Detroit has more NFC conference wins. Tiebreaker goes to Detroit. My favorite thing is Minnesota fans trying to use like strength of victory to be like, well, if the Lions and Vikings actually both finish with the same record, Minnesota would win the division. It's like, no, actually, the tiebreakers are very clear. It goes conference wins. It goes head to head, common opponents, conference wins. Then it gets down to like strength of schedule and strength of victory and shit. Like those are so far down the list. It's like, guys, Lions have 1 loss to an AFC team. They're like invincible because the Eagles have 2 NFC, the Vikings have 2 NFC. That's the thing that really holds the Lions in first place, by the way. What's up, Mike? That's it. That's the thing that has the Lions in first. Their second loss was to a team that neither one of the 2 other teams play. Lions took a perfect loss. If they had won versus the Buccaneers, the Eagles would be screwed. Like they would just be like, well, Lions are going to be the 1 seed. But they both lost to the Buccaneers. Hilarious that both the Lions' only NFC loss was a common opponent versus the Eagles that they both lost to. That's lucky as shit. And then with the Lions, they have a common opponent win. Minnesota lost to the Rams. Lions beat the Rams. And who the hell else did the Vikings lose to? It was like they didn't lose to the Packers, did they? Let me read some of the stuff. The simple quote that Mayo said: "We are going to be a better football team in 2025. The players, me, as me as a coach." I don't know. Again, I'm hoping we fire Mayo. Sam Darnold is the reason why the Vikings. No, Sam Darnold's not the reason why. It's their defense is the reason why they're 12-2. And their head coach is really good. Simple quote that Mayo said. I already read that. Yeah, I don't know. You're playing the patience game. Yeah, I think it'd be smarter to get a better head coach that are available. You know who you don't want to play in the playoffs? Who is probably the greatest spoiler this year? The fucking Rams, dude. Their offense is dangerous. The Eagles losing to the Falcons is a pathetic loss. However, early season losses. Same thing with the Lions to the Bucks. The Lions just weren't ready to go early on. Teams like the Eagles, Lions, Rams when they're not hurt. Probably the Packers too. No, the Packers start off hot as shit. Like the Dolphins when they're not garbage. Like the more gadgety, like movement based kind of what words am I looking for? Like the more sophisticated offenses take a couple weeks to get going, and the Eagles don't run a very simple offense. Detroit runs a really complicated one. The Rams do, the 49ers do, the Dolphins do. All these teams run, the Vikings kind of do, but they kind of come right out swinging. Again, some of these teams that the Vikings actually came out swinging because they played the preseason seriously because they had to. So that kind of is why bad teams tend to beat good teams early in the season. At least that's how I've always kind of like interpreted that, like why that happens. It's like, well, bad teams run like simple bullshit, like situations that are very easy to run and they're good to go. Yeah, did you guys hear about that? Big Phoenix energy starting in Atlanta. I guess that first round pick actually paid off. Now if he's good, the Falcons look like a genius. You know what I mean? Simply on like, it's like everybody clowned him, but if he goes out there and balls the fuck out, it's gonna be like, oh well shit, they nailed that then. But I genuinely doubt that's going to happen. But they are playing. Who the hell are they playing? The Giants? Yeah, they're playing the Giants. Easy win for Mr. Penix. Is it a mistake for the Falcons to start Michael Penix? I mean, they're playing the Giants. It's a very easy game to start against, so it's probably the right game to start him to see if he can do it. Hope said he plays the Giants, who should be relegated. Pretty much, it's basically, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll read that in a second, Fernando. It's weird how big of an emphasis is put on QB, but when teams go get their QB, no, I got what you're saying on that there, Mike. Yeah, it's weird because Minnesota clearly was only signing Cousins for like a 1 or 2 year deal. I think it was like what, a 2-year deal. They're like, he wasn't our long-term solution. We want a new quarterback. We said we were going to take a young quarterback. Why is everyone surprised? But yeah, Penix should be all right. If only Mayo went back to the way he coached against the Rams. He was arguing with the refs, had aggressive offensive calls, and didn't we lose that game to the Rams? I think everyone forgot about JJ McCarthy. No one did. It's actually a very funny situation if you follow the football, if you follow it any kind of closely up in with the Vikings. Their fan base is in arms about what to do about Sam Darnold. They're like, what the fuck? What do we do? Is New York one of the worst NFL organizations in the NFL? No, only because usually once every decade they get their shit together and win a Super Bowl. And it feels like they're just about to figure it all out and do that again. I know it doesn't seem like it, but by the end of this decade, they'll have won another Super Bowl, and we all will be very stunned at how it happened. And then they'll be very bad for 5 years and then win another one and then disappear until the 2040s. If you think I'm lying, just look at their Super Bowl history. It's very funny. They got one in the 80s. They got one in the 90s. They got one in the 2000s. They got one in the 2010s. It's fucking pretty outstanding if you actually go look at it. It's like, what the I think the Jets are the worst ran team in the NFL. The fucking dog shit show over there. I think even the Lions have been run better than the Jets have been. Like, I think the Lions, they may make more money than the Jets because the Lions really just don't spend any money either. The Jets are out here giving out humongous contracts to get players to come play just to do nothing because they're like 800. Yeah, somewhere like that, like the fourth one. We should get Mike Vrabel as the head coach, actually. Hell yeah, Space. We hope so. No, they haven't gotten back. And you know what's even funnier about the Jets with Joe Namath? He was the first quarterback to ever throw for 4,000 yards. I think it was that season. He threw for 4K too. And the Jets have never done it again. It's been one of my favorite. It's my favorite bit of lore about the Jets. Like, they probably had the greatest season of all time, breaking all these records, winning the Super Bowl, and they just been dog shit ever since. It's just downhill depression ever since for that fucking whole team. Can't demote coaches, yeah. He's gonna get fired, Fernando. Most likely, he's fucking. If we get blown out by the Bills twice in the next 3 weeks, he's fired, dude. Like, we have to at least look respectable, or he's gone. Like he's like gone. No, my dad was like a little child when the fucking Jets won the Super Bowl, like a little baby. Yeah, because 69. Yeah, he would have been born. Just barely though. Like, oh, he would have been around. He would have been like 8. Oh, something like that. He's a boomer, so. Super Bowl 3 is the only. Why can't it ever happen again? Oh, because the Jets and the Chiefs are in the AFC. Yeah, I mean, like the oldest Jets fans could probably arguably be that watched it were like 5, and those people are probably like turning 70 soon. It's like, damn, dude. They're the ones who are just like, it was good times with Joe Namath. One day we'll have a quarterback again. 4,000 yards is pretty hard. Look at the Bears. They've never done it. You know, like using the Bears as like a way to feel better about themselves because it's very funny to do that. That's the funniest one, actually. Because the Bears, they're like an 100-year-old team. So like when you think about all of that, all of the time they've had to like exist and only be like the Chicago Bears. I think it's like they haven't really done any name change. It's like one continuous thing because again they're one of the oldest, longest standing teams in football. It's hard to say NFL because it's like, well, yeah, but it's like, you know, I think it's just the entirety of the whole thing. I think them and the Packers came in at the exact same time. That's part of the rivalry between the two. Fun fact, you know, the Bills and Lions were created at the same time. Ooh, fun. They're like league buddies, I believe. Kind of ironic, neither teams won a Super Bowl either. Came in at a very bad time, and it's like, oh damn, you guys will just never get one. But with the Bills and with the Bears though, they've never had their best quarterback season. Arguably was Jay Cutler with like 3,800 yards one time. Like Jay Cutler may be the best quarterback in Bears history, and that's very funny to think about. Yeah, Joe. They thought Aaron Rodgers was going to Tom Brady it, and it just like, dog, he ain't Tom Brady. What are you guys doing? The last Jets playoff appearance. Yeah, but at least they went to the AFC Championship or something like that. And I agree with what you said. Since it doesn't really matter what pick we get, we're taking tackle anyway. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. We should look good. And again, if we look bad, like just shitty, like bad football, it's like we got to let him go. Now, Fernando, he could save his job with me and a lot of other people. If he goes out there and suddenly is like coaching better, making better decisions, we're making better plays, we're doing things more correctly, I'll be like, oh, okay, they're actually got their fucking head out of their ass and they're doing things correctly now. Maybe with the threat of a gun now, they're fucking gonna play good football. Yeah, if the Patriots can come out there and not get blown out of the water in 3 straight games, then yeah, maybe they keep Mayo. But other than that, man, it's like he's probably got to go. No, that's what I mean. Look, just don't get fucking deep throated. And the fact that we always beat the Chargers, we better goddamn win this time. Like we don't like it's. We're gonna get destroyed by the Chargers for the first time in my life, and I hate it so much, dude. I've never watched my Patriots. I watched us lose close games to the Chargers, rarely, but never seen one of my favorite teams get blown out by a Chargers team before. And I hope it doesn't start. You know, I don't want to see that shit. Nobody does. Could you imagine trying to tell your friends your team got blown out by the fucking Chargers? Everybody would laugh at you. I'd never look my buddies in the face again. They'd be like, what's up, man? Got blown out by the Chargers? Be like, oh, come on, man. This is not a good time. Your dick fall off? What happened to your team? It's like, it's not my fault they're not able to beat the Chargers. Come on, man. No, that's what you used to tell us. What, your dick fall off when you lose to the Chargers? I used to bully people when their teams would lose to the Chargers because it was so easy to beat them big. I don't understand how teams lose to this fucking team. Are there any teams left in the NFL that are undefeated against another team? I know my Eagles are undefeated against the Jets for the longest time. I believe we were 12-0 or 13-0 until they recently beat us. The Eagles versus Houston, I think. That might be right. Are the Bills still undefeated against the Lions? Kind of a hilarious one that I'm not too sure about. Plus on Saturday afternoon, everyone watching, that's the one that getting Mayosh. Yeah, hopefully. Bro, if Kyler Murray put up 30, Justin Herbert is about to attain godhood. 100%. Pretty much, Mike. That's probably right. No, I genuinely think the Bills, I don't know if the Bills have ever lost to the Lions, or it's been a really long time. Like, somehow the Bills almost always beat them dudes. Buffalo loses the series 8-4-1. Yeah, it's some crazy shit like that. And like, I think the last 6 games have all been won by Buffalo. It's like it's one of them things where it's like, oh yeah, okay. And they only play each other once every like 4 years, so you can see that's like 20 straight years, 30 straight years without the Lions winning a single one of them games. That's pretty bad. By the way, thank you guys for the likes. Make sure you drop one if you haven't already. Helps the stream out. Maybe get some more people in here. It helps us out a little bit. I appreciate you. It's funny to see all these 6 and 8 teams just sitting there going, oh, come on. Because I believe if the Chargers win, all these teams are basically out. They're just like all eliminated. They're gonna do an IRL game of Madden, basically like the yeah, they've done that for a couple games. Like I'm pretty sure this happened in my dream, but there was a game where they were the Simpsons, Fernando. I'm gonna pretend you didn't put that in your comment, because I'm gonna gaslight you into pretending you didn't know about it. Yeah, Fernando, they've been doing that already, like this year with the Simpsons, so it's not that crazy. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you about it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I'm telling you about the Simpsons one. You guys got to help me with this. See, he'll take the bait. He'll get fucked up by this, and like after like 20 minutes, he'll forget that he's the one who brought it up. I'm telling you, he's pretty easy to play with. You know, you can fuck with this guy. No, I'm just kidding, Fernando. That'd be kind of fucked up to do to somebody. Be like, all right, guys, let's openly fuck with this guy. I don't see Houston upsetting playoffs. I can't see them in the Super Bowl. I think the only 2 teams I could see representing the AFC. I agree with those 2. Bills defense is questionable, but can win with offense. Chiefs lack the offense, but can win with defense. Yep. And the Ravens, until we see Lamar Jackson not like choke against a good team in the playoffs, and their defense is really bad. Like as bad as like the Bills or the Lions defense are. I think the Chiefs may have the worst defense of the good teams. The Lions can make plays because they have 2 safeties that are fucking cracked out. Ravens got nothing. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the Ravens' problem, is they don't have a good defense this year. I've never actually thought I would utter those words. The Ravens have a bad secondary and a bad defense. It's like, what did you say? What words did you just string together? It's kind of like with the Bears. They almost never play bad defense. So when the Bears have a bad defense, you're like, what? Oh, I meant to say Ravens. Yeah, I'm sorry. Broncos Chargers. Yeah, that's a pretty important game. I would say. Oh, not even low key. I think the winner of this game clinches. Oh, hold on. I want to see something. Head to head, division, common games, conference. See, that's what I remember. What I said, guys. Remember, Minnesota fans think strength of victory goes before all this shit for some reason. They're like, dude, if we all finish with the same records, we win. And it's like, no, Minnesota. There's a very, very strict setting of how all this plays out. And the Lions win because of this. Number 4 comes into play here. Also, we're ahead of them because we won against the Rams and they did not. So these two things have us ahead of Minnesota. This has us ahead of the Eagles, just this one. Just so we're all like understanding about how like the things break down in case like things are tied. Also, that's important because when you look at this, I think one of these two motherfuckers clinch because if the Broncos win, they clinch a playoff spot, I believe. If the Chargers, I want to hold on. Where is it? They don't. Fuck it. I don't want to find it. But yeah, I'm guessing if the Broncos win tomorrow night, then they'd be 10-5. They'd probably eliminate all of these 6, and they'd probably eliminate the field. That may be a clincher. If the Broncos win, I don't know if anyone gets eliminated. But if the Chargers win 9-6, and any of these guys lose this week, they'd be eliminated. And then if the Broncos win, that leaves one spot open the rest of the way through. I don't know if anyone would be eliminated on like common opponents. Interesting with the AFC bottom place. A lot of interesting playoffs. Vikings real opponents record is 5-9. That is a real stat. Yeah, the Vikings have had an easy schedule. Now they have to play the Seahawks, Packers, and Lions to end their season. Eagles or Lions will most likely represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I'm guessing so. Packers or Vikings could play spoilers. Yeah, they could. We'll see, though. Matt LaFleur has like a weird tendency to fuck up in the playoffs, and I'm not really sure what happens. Yep, Eagles, Lions are the NFC best. And I would put the Eagles ahead because of the Lions' injuries on defense. If the Lions were fully healthy, they'd probably be the best team in football. And they'd probably be the runaway favorite. Like, they'd probably win the Super Bowl if they were healthy. If I'm being honest. That defense, dude, Aiden Hutchinson was on a warpath. I don't even know what the fuck. Like, he's still in the top. Like, he's still like, if you look at the pressures, it's like Aiden Hutchinson comes up way too quick. It's like, top 15? What were you going to do this year? He was number 1 for like 3 weeks after he got hurt still. It was just like, oh boy, he was a runaway defensive player of the year too. For sure, Fernando. It was a nice chat. He goes, yo, Rob, whoever wins between Pittsburgh and Baltimore will win the North. Yeah, I think so. Is that a division clincher? Yeah, I'll be live for tomorrow. Should be a good game. Don't really expect to get many people watching because Thursday night and That's Good Sports and them are streaming it, but maybe some Chargers. No one's going to watch. For the Ravens-Steelers game. Could be a good one. Yeah, because I think did the Chargers beat the Bengals head-to-head? And the best they could both finish is 9-8. Like, it eliminates anyone the Chargers lost to head-to-head. And I think the Bengals lost to them. So, yeah, it pretty much just fucks them. And then the Chargers play the Patriots. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of why I keep trying to tell people. I'm like, you guys know if like if the Chargers win, a whole bunch of people are fucked. If the Broncos are out, or if the Broncos wind up winning, there's one spot open, but the Chargers then play the Patriots. And it's like, damn, that's a bit of a free win for a team right now. However, since the Patriots are most likely going to take a tackle and sign 2 receivers, Higgins, Chris Godwin, then we probably can just draft a tackle and we don't got to lose out anymore. So now we're going to play spoiler. Show you guys what the real Patriots look like. Show you guys that we've been playing possum this year, counting crow, letting other teams develop and get better. Because when we rise back up and we're perfect next year and go 17-0 in the Super Bowl, I don't want to hear anyone cry about it. The Patriots, really, honestly, if we become good again and defeat Mahomes, we should be worshipped as the NFL saviors. You know how funny that shit would be, though? Is if, like, everybody's like all right, hell yeah, the Chiefs saved us from the Patriots dynasty. And now everyone's kind of sick of the Chiefs, and it's like, damn, if only somebody, it's like the Patriots show back up, and it's like literally anybody else be the team that does this, please? Why does it got to be these fucking guys? It's supposed to be the Bengals, but they shit their pants tremendously. I've never seen a team just like fuck it all up. I think Zach Taylor's going to get fired 100%. I low-key think Ben Johnson will be the next Bengals head coach. They're probably the greatest. They're the number 4 offense in the NFL. I don't think an offense that's been top 5 has ever missed the playoffs before. Yeah, they got to fire Taylor. I would not be shocked because, again, there's 2 things. If the Lions don't win the Super Bowl, Ben Johnson probably goes back to Detroit. So that may not happen now this year. Ben Johnson may not be a head coach candidate. He's kind of openly stated he doesn't want to leave Detroit before winning a Super Bowl. So we'll see if that's actually true. And again, Ben Johnson's only 38 years old. Or 37, 38. He's not very old, so it's not like he's in like the biggest hurry to get his job done. Plus, he's learning how to be a very good head coach with a very good like mentor in Dan Campbell. But yeah, they should fire Zach Taylor and then try to get fucking Ben Johnson. And I do think that Ben would probably wind up, if the Lions do win the Super Bowl and the Bengals job is open, he goes to Cincinnati really fast. Personally, I think that's where he'd wind up. Because again, if you're an offensive-minded head coach, I mean, it's pretty simple where you'd want to go. It's like, oh yeah, I want to go to the Bears where they got, a bunch of maybes. Or you can design offense around Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? It's like, boy, that's a hard fucking decision. I got basically the most pinpoint accurate quarterback since Tom Brady and the second best receiver in the NFL. Okay, we can make this work. Yeah, I don't think he has any use for that guy. He probably thinks he's a terrible coach. I mean, but Burrow's not one of them types to like ever disrespect a coach. Even like former coaches and shit, he probably just never will speak bad about one of them types. He probably just doesn't really, I don't know if he hates him. I would say he more just doesn't want him to be the head coach. Because again, there's a line to think that Zach Taylor is a very good offensive coordinator, like a very good offensive head coach. Because they are they're a scary good offense. And Zach Taylor does put that offense together. Like there's this weird tension where it's like Taylor is very clearly good at what he does with the offense, but they don't know what to do with the defense. Which is kind of the same problems they've always had in Cincinnati, where it's like they'll have one of these good teams for a couple of years and then they overpay everybody on the offense, and then the defense players get traded away or leave, and then they fall apart, and then they trade away the good quarterback and offensive pieces and then rebuild by drafting 3 very extraordinarily good wide receivers, and then taking a quarterback that becomes a monster. It's a very cyclical pattern, by the way, with the Bengals. I can highlight all 3 examples if you'd like. Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, Chad Johnson, TJ Hushmanzada, and I believe they had another receiver on that team for Carson Palmer. They got rid of all that. Carson Palmer even went so far as to, deep playoff runs with the Bengals. Yeah, pretty much, JoJo. Yeah, and like they always fuck up. Like they always just like this has happened in the 90s, according to my dad. In the 80s, the Bengals did this. They're a very consistent team. They get receivers. You could even think of when they had Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and oh my God, who was the third one? AJ Green. Those three. Remember, that was a great receiving core for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton get him 12 wins, go to the playoffs, and lose regularly. For 5 years, they were a dominant team, and then everything fell apart because they couldn't pay everybody. And now we're seeing it again. They had Tyler Boyd. They added in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and it all is blowing up again. Bad ownership. You know what that means? It's bad ownership. That's all it is. If you're wondering why that keeps consistently happening with the team, it's a bad owner. Why were the Lions bad so long? Why did they keep hiring the same kind of bad, shitty GMs and coaches? Because they had a bad owner. Why have the Jets been so bad for so consistently long? They got a bad owner. Because again, they hire the same type of people and expect that to be like the thing that brings about the change. Meanwhile, the Lions get a new owner, like kind of. The daughter takes over the team as the new owner, and she immediately makes them a winner. It's that quick. I mean, look at the Commanders. They got rid of Dan Snyder, and they have a very bright future. All of us in 1 year, they have a bright future. Lions, Commanders, new owners, instantly good. It's really impressive, isn't it? If the Bengals got a new owner. Oh, dude, that would be insane how good they'd probably turn into. Oh, sorry, hold on. The Bears are an interesting football team. I don't think they're one of the worst. They've been ran poorly since their last Super Bowl, though, in 85. Since their last Super Bowl win. I feel like when the head McCaskey dies, the one who's running it, I feel like they'll be a lot better off. They're also pretty poorly ran. And they just seem to just not understand what a quarterback is. It's tremendously impressive. Yeah, and like the Rex Grossman, Kyle Orton Super Bowl, that shit was so funny. I always remind Peyton Manning fans that the first Super Bowl doesn't really count because it was against the Bears. It was like, yeah, you beat Rex Grossman and fucking Kyle Orton. Congratulations. Wasn't that shit close as hell too? Like, wasn't that like a 4-point game for some reason? But again, Chicago. I'm leaving out how good the Bears defense was. Hold on one second. My nose is bothering me. Yeah, I was being shitty and just gonna leave that out. It's like, well, yeah, they had prime Charles Tillman, prime Brian Urlacher. Yeah, he was awful. Rex Grossman and they had funny nicknames. And then you're forgetting about Kyle Orton. Remember what they had? They had the tag team quarterback. Yes, I hate the Dolphins, but I think the 49ers offense can get the best of Tua. Defense, yeah, I have the Niners over Miami too. Plus, Miami doesn't play good in December. They're a dog shit team. And I also think that Mike McDaniel is going to get fired. He's like 6-30 something against bad teams or against teams with over 500 record. It's like, oh, he's fired then. There's no way they keep him. I don't really see why Miami would. Yeah, I think so, Jojo. I think so. That's I always remind them that. And Peyton Manning's only other Super Bowl win, he got dragged to by the fucking Broncos defense. You know how important that last Super Bowl win was for Peyton Manning? If he'd have lost, he'd have finished as a 12-14 playoff record. This is a fun little fact about them. About Peyton Manning. No, not a lot of people know that. He only finished with a 13-12 career record in the playoffs. Meaning, if you do the math, if the fucking Broncos didn't carry his ass to that Super Bowl, he would have finished under 500 in the playoffs. You know what game I'm most excited for is the Booster Seat Bowl. We have the Toilet Bowl this week with the Jaguars Raiders, the annual Toilet Bowl every year. We get a good game like that. But we also have the Cardinals versus the Panthers. Two of the biggest boy quarterbacks. Couple big guys. Couple big old guys over at quarter. They're the same height as me. I'm just shitting. I'm just making fun of them for no reason. Very, very funny that we have the Booster Seat Bowl. The Little Tykes Bowl. Playing a little football game this Sunday. I'm so excited for the Bryce Young fucking Kyler Murray game. The highlights are going to be adorable. It's going to look like fucking kids are out there trying to play against NFL guys, but the little kids are like super powered. Yeah. Kyler's out there fucking being a crazed person. The Manning brothers are clowns, I agree. Despite Eli being carried by the Giants defense to beat the Patriots. Yeah, the only people who bring up Eli are the Giants fans and Patriots fans when we're bitching. Yeah, Tom's the GOAT, dude. You know what I like? I like that Tom Brady and Mahomes friendly already kind of settled the GOAT conversation. If you haven't noticed, Jojo, there's no the debates between us Patriots fans and Chiefs fans. There is no true debate anymore with us about the whole GOAT thing with Brady and Mahomes. Because the two of them laid out the lines, so it's over with. I don't even care. I won't listen to any GOAT conversation. It's like, well, Mahomes and Brady both said it takes 8 Super Bowls to pass Tom and be the new GOAT. And when both guys agree to kind of a standard, it's like, well, that's the standard. You got to have 8 Super Bowls to pass Tom. That's literally their saying. And if that's the way that's how that's going to be settled, then that's Mahomes got 5 more Super Bowls he's got to try. And then, until then, I won't even consider it. He could tie it and pass him. I think he could pass him and tie it. Someone took the Bears over the Lions this week. Yeah, I don't know why they do that, but yeah. You know, the probably going to be the angriest team in football this week, the Lions. Lions are very good after a loss too. Since they got hot a couple years ago. What's up, Lore? The Niners don't have the Niners don't lose the last 3 games. They will still have a top 15. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really looked into where your team will be drafting, Lore. Don't know. I'll take your word for it. Oh, the Rams are officially in the division lead now, I guess. So the Seahawks are going to be in a desperate spot against the Vikings this weekend. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Much rather see the Seahawks win the West than the Rams miss the playoffs, if we're all being honest. We don't want the Rams to make the playoffs. Nobody fucking wants to play that team right now. Titans or Colts? I'd go with the Colts. Titans suck. Where do you rank Peyton's brothers when it comes to Joseph Montana? I have it as my all-time ranking goes Brady, Montana, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning. And then Aikman. Or Elway. Rodgers. One of those three guys at 5 because they're the same fucking guy 3 times. And then I guess throw Big Ben in at 5 too. I don't really see much distinction between those 4 quarterbacks all time. Aikman, Rodgers, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of like all the same guy. Like it's just kind of like a blur. Fucking who cares? I'd Peyton at 4 though. I'd put Mahomes. If Mahomes retired, he's a Hall of Famer with 3 Super Bowl wins. Really good, great all time number. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. So in my head, I can put him clearly ahead of Peyton now. I'm far more impressed with what Mahomes has accomplished in his playoff career than anything I've seen out of Wolf Forehead. However, Peyton may be one of the single greatest regular season quarterbacks that I've ever seen play football. For whatever that's worth. Tom Brady's the greatest winning quarterback I've ever seen. I don't think he knew how to lose. Niners and Ravens, when the blackout happened, the Ravens were pretty much running away. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, the blackout completely just stopped the... Yeah, I remember watching that, and then the power just went off. I was like, well, they're going to turn it back on. It was like 20 minutes later. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And the whole time we were all joking that, like, well, the Niners are going to come back now. And then it did. And then they almost won that shit. That was a crazy finish. What's up, Miguel? No, I hope not. There's no reason to draft that guy. No, the wind is starting to pick up to the things that I've been saying. And in my head, we're signing T. Higgins. We're now the favorite to sign T. Hopefully that happens. I think we're also going to sign Chris Godwin. So I don't think we need to waste our draft picks on taking another bust receiver because we can't draft wide receivers. I don't want to see my team waste any high picks on a goddamn... If like the 4th or 5th round, we take a receiver, fine. But like, don't waste our high picks on something we fucking can't draft. Sign those 2 guys. All we got to do is sign those 2 guys, keep Bob Douglas, get Javon Baker up to speed. We're good. We're literally good to go with those 4 guys. And then keep Travis Hunter or Hunter Henry. Then we draft the offensive linemen, like you said, tackles. Kevin Banks Jr. from Texas is a good option. Whoever the best potential tackle is, we should take. Yeah, if we, again, late round receivers, I don't care. Take a shot. Anything early, fuck that. Just sign them. Do you think the blackout was intentional? No, I don't think so. They might have been undefeated in the Super Bowl, but I don't think it was intentional. Personally, I think sometimes people just make mistakes. Yeah, any of those 2 guys, I don't care. Somebody good. Just give us a big fucking left tackle we can put in front of Drake. And let us get to work with T. Higgins and Pop Douglas at least. We don't necessarily need Chris Godwin, but I would like us to sign him as well. And now the rumors are the Patriots might be the favorites to sign him as well. And he has interest in going to New England. Again, a lot of these guys grew up Patriots fans. And everyone's like, no, they grew up Tom Brady fans. Yeah, who the fuck did he play for, dude? And now it's like, oh, the Patriots got a good young quarterback and they need receivers. Plus, Godwin's got a Super Bowl ring. You don't give a fuck. We can pay him more than everybody. Suck our dicks. We need him. I think New England's media is trying to call those 2 guards to... Yeah, we're not. We should just avoid picking Travis. We literally have a Travis Hunter. And apparently Travis plans on playing more corner in the NFL and wants to do unique packages in the NFL. It's like, we fucking got that. We got a guy named Marcus Jones who does the exact thing that... Let's not draft Marcus Jones in the with the 2nd pick, please. Like, please, can we not draft the same guy we already got on the roster? What's up, Tiger Town? How you been, man? Nice to see you. Yeah, that's my only complaint, is like we have a guy who effectively does the exact same thing as Travis Hunter. Been good, man. How you been? And like a smarter OC next season's going to use Marcus more on offense. So again, we're good. We're good. We already got that. We don't need another one. Let's just take offensive linemen and see what we can sign in the offseason. It's the way to build the team. This is a kind of a shitty draft to be a bad team, to be honest. Those is bothering me a little bit still. That's the probably the biggest problem for a team this year that's not so great. This is kind of a dog shit year for the draft. I was kind of looking at things. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of good players coming out. Skill positions all seem rather light. No, it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem very good. Winning as many Super Bowls as Patrick Mahomes. Oh, 3? I hope the Tigers could. I hope they really could. There's a good possibility. Great, one of the best pitching situations. We have the reigning Cy Young. We got a lot of money. We got room for him. We've got a good player with like Maeda, and him and Maeda get along really well. There's a good shot. I would say we probably have one of the better chances at getting him outside of the major teams. Again, us having the reigning Cy Young and Chris Fetter is a big addition too. See, Jojo, I can't honestly answer the Lions because you're going to think I'm being biased. But if the Lions could somehow overpower again, you have to kind of go with me on this one a little bit. If the Lions can play through these injuries and win a Super Bowl this year, again, we're they are a contender. This could happen. Despite all of the injuries, I genuinely think they could be a dynasty in the making. Because again, they're only going to be healthier next year and add more good players in. They've also got like $60 million somehow this offseason to work with. Like, it's like, how the fuck did that happen? And like almost everybody's under contract. Like, they just paid like everybody important this year. And like no contracts set until like 2026. So again, with the way the Lions are set up, with the way the contracts are set up, with the fact that they don't got to like pay anybody until 2026, that leaves like 2 or 3 years of really, they go to like 60 million, then they're back up at like 80 million the next season. The amount of money the Lions have over the next 2 years on top of like the team that they have, the way that they draft, the way if they can stay healthy. Again, that kind of depends on if they're able to pull it out and still win this year, which I think they're going to. Their defense is effectively the same as what it was last year now. It's like almost the same guys except Hutch. So it's like, well, they almost made it last year if they didn't choke. So honestly, they probably still can do most of what they got to do. It just because the way that I think if we took the name Detroit Lions off Detroit and smacked it onto any other team, with the way the roster is constructed, with how well the team's coached, with how well like the money situation's all put together, and again, this kind of depends on a team winning a Super Bowl. It feels like they're in a very good shape to be set up. The thing is, I wouldn't really give as much credit as you would give to Mahomes as you would to Goff, though. You know what I mean? Wait, what's up, Ven? Like with most of those situations, you'd be very praising of the quarterback. I don't think Goff would get as much credit as other quarterbacks. Because people would be hyper aware of the team aspect of it, I think. Kind of like with the Patriots. I know Brady stands out, but it's also like you could argue that first dynasty was pretty much all Tom's defense. It was all defense, and the second one was all Tom. You know, like there's like this weird dichotomy with the Patriots dynasty, where Tom doesn't get all the credit. Whereas with the Chiefs, it feels like it's all Mahomes. With if the Lions can pull one off, again, they're set up to do it. That doesn't really mean much. The Eagles are also in a pretty good spot. If they can go ahead and win a Super Bowl, They have very young, good defense. Packers, if they can win a Super Bowl soon, they're also in a really good spot. The things you want to look for a team in that situation is like their quarterback isn't too expensive. Check for all three of those teams. My nose is just really bothersome right now. You want to look for like young teams, and for the most part, the Eagles are a pretty young team now. With a lot of like their key defensive young pieces being like superstars. No, that Rams team was like don't forget how good that Rams team was. No, the Rams are the Rams are actually the Lions could look at the Rams in the mirror and be like that's what we can be. Because again, Brad Holmes helped build that football team. The Lions are very similarly built. Even hilariously down to having Jared Goff. It's the yeah, that's because of the Rams' ability to draft. The Rams are super good at drafting, and they can build their team up. They understand how the salary cap works. They know how to trade. They're very well coached. Again, if the Rams rattle off 2 Super Bowls, they're a dynasty. That's the funniest part. Like they've won one recently enough to where they still count as a dynasty if they can win 2. They have to win the next 2 to get it though. So again, maybe if the Rams go on a crazy run, when they won their Super Bowl, despite how they had that like attitude of like, oh fuck those picks. The irony of that statement is their team, despite all the spending they did, still had the most number of players on it that were drafted on the roster and played the most amount of snap. Like the drafted players they had played the most amount of snaps for them. And that was mostly what was on their roster was drafted players. Believe it or not. I know the number was like shockingly far ahead compared to other teams. It was like they had like an 80 something % draft rate of a guy making the roster and contributing. It's really good. And then they've also again, they draft well, coach well. They've got good team. Again, the reason they have good receivers and good weapons is because of the drafting, right? Anybody could have drafted Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Just like anybody could have drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown, but again, Brad Holmes is such a good guy. Again, he helped develop the scouting. He learned how to scout from being part of the Rams. And again, the Lions draft very similarly to the way the Rams draft. And again, with the Packers, they have a very good young team. There's a lot of teams that you could sit there and think about like, oh shit, there's like a good shot here that they could do something if they don't fuck up, right? But that's the hardest part is the messing up. When you have a very young team, good control of the contract, like of your cap space, that's a really good sign that you could go on a run. Because again, you're not going to lose anybody in the next 3 to 4 years. That's a good shot. Maybe even the next 5 years, you don't lose a ton of people. He's gonna get Hey, I hate to tell you this, Lore. It's gonna be a lot of money. Yeah, the Eagles are also there too because again, I really like the way they're building their defense with Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, the Georgia boys up front are starting to actually become good football players, which is shocking. It only took them 3 seasons. And to be fair, they, Joe, was your team injured to fuck last year? Why do I remember like you guys being the Lions last year? If that makes sense. There was a very good team last year that like limped into the playoffs and got like immediately their throat punched in. It's kind of like, well, that happens when you're banged up. But I remember last year like the Lions are the team this year. It's just once a year there's a team that gets their shit pushed in because of it, because the injury gods go fuck you. And in 2008 it happened to the Patriots. They took Tom Brady's ACL out in game 1. You cannot name a more singular, devastating amount of injuries to any team. Thoughts on the Kirk benching? Yeah, makes sense, right? He literally can't play. He probably should have missed this season. Pretty much immobile. just throwing picks left and right because he's cooked. He may be just time to retire for old Kirk, or he needs to take some time off and get his ankle good. Don't really feel too bad for him because he's finessed the league out of like $380 million. So good for him. Way to run it up, Kirk. But he may be done. He's probably just done. Yeah, that the ACL just or the Achilles, you sometimes just don't come back from that. Look at how shitty Rodgers is now, kind of. Yeah, I mean, look at Rodgers. Dude, Ben, did you ever think you'd see Rodgers play the way he is? Like right now? Like how consistently bad he plays? I never thought I'd see Rodgers look like this. I thought his ass would retire before it got that bad. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I didn't like that Achilles shit has just killed those two guys. To be fair, Rodgers is 40 though. That's a little bit, yeah, that's not as shocking. He's an older man. That was actually pretty. It's like, yeah, that one's obvious that he didn't come back as good. But with Cousins, he's only like 35. Yeah, Kirk like rushed it back within a year, like fucking 5 months, and was doing Dancing with the Stars. I was like, oh, Kirk's super recovered. It's like, oh, that was a fake Kirk Cousins out there. Dude, my nose is so fucking itchy right now. Oh my God, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too concerned. He might just be done. Bad ankle. Just skill drop off. That's about that. Achilles a career ender for a reason in football. If you're not young, that's about that for your career. But hold on. Oh. Yeah, I was looking into that. That just sucks. I don't know. They kind of brought him in to also help mentor Michael Penix with probably the idea that around, what is it, a 2-year contract? I don't know. Who fuck cares? I don't think they're paying anybody anyway. Fucking salary cap goes up like 20, 30 million this offseason. They're fine. I don't really, who fuck cares? A lot of that thing was guaranteed anyway, so they're probably not really on too much of a. Let me go see, what do they got left. Oh, that's the top search right now is Kirk Cousins' contract. Let's see. Yeah, it's only a 2-year contract. So they just, oh boy. Yeah, that sucks. Next year's about a bitch if they can't trade him. Oh boy. Oh fuck. Yeah, they got the free out in 26 on him for 35. Oh man. And they'll save $2 million. So that's actually not that bad getting rid of him that year. Jesus, dude. Instead of paying him 107 over those 2 years, you can get out for fucking 30 or 35. Well, that's fine. Yeah, and by that point, by 26, it'll be like $300 million for a fucking salary cap. Who cares? I'm pretty sure this is like the only money the Falcons have put out though, is this money. Like they're not that bad. Let me see where they're at. What do we got? What do we got with the Falcons? Oh, they're in a bad spot. Oh, shit. They've only got $6 million. Well, let's see what they got next year. Probably. Oh, no. Oh, no. That says $7 million for this offseason. What's up, Space? Oh, Ben, I didn't know it was this bad. Oh, I didn't know they had this kind of money out. What are these idiots doing? Oh, 2026 isn't bad. They got $92 million. What do we got for the... Look at it. That's hilarious that the Lions have $93 million in 2026. Falcons have one of the most hilarious and depressing Super Bowl losses. Oh, dude, yeah, that Super Bowl loss is one of my favorite Super Bowl wins ever. The Lions having $69 million in 2025 is the funniest fucking bullshit I've ever seen in my life, man. Hell yeah, Mike. Yeah, Atlanta was good to us. This makes me sick to my stomach how they pulled this off. Man, I know how they're cheating. I figured out how the Lions are actually doing what they're doing. They're fucking cheating, dude. And I'm telling you, if they win the Super Bowl, within 2 months, we're going to find out about some bullshit cheating scandal about how they're cooking their books. They're doing something over there, man. They can't have this much talent and have this much money going into next offseason. They paid everybody. They got to pay like fucking Brian Branch, and that's it. And he's only going to take up like $20 million. It's not that much money. J-Mo hasn't earned his contract yet. So they can just wait another offseason when they got even more. Yeah, they have $90 million the following. It's bullshit, dude. You want to see a really funny number, though? Hold on. You guys want to see a really funny number? Look at who's it feels good to be number one. We're at we have $35 million right now to spend. Nobody can outspend us right now. Like right now, we can go band for band. Nobody has more money than the New England Patriots, except 3 really shitty teams also. But if we go into this offseason, look at all that money we got. $132.6 million. We got a whole war chest to build for Drake May. Yeah, I know that's a ridiculous amount of money, isn't it? We have 3 contracts on Wainu, Duggar, and Barmore. Everybody else don't get nothing. Phoenix is lit. I forgot which game flexed it out because it was switched to the Falcons versus Commanders. Week 17, I believe. The Dolphins and Browns got flexed out. Yeah, Ven, the Falcons are fucked. They're literally just, they gotta really hope that Drake London and all them and Phoenix and all them click together. Ooh, fuck. I don't like the looks of that. How the Bears always got that much money too? That's annoying. Oh yeah, they're always bad. So they trade everybody. Are you guys gonna beat the Vikings for us? By the way, are you gonna take care of them fucking people, Then? Like, we need you guys to just end this dog shit because we know the Seahawks aren't gonna beat them guys. So it's really up to you guys to just put an end to that. That shit's so obnoxious. Can you just stop them from talking? Like, it'd be so funny because again, if we can win the next 2, and if you guys or the Seahawks somehow beat these guys, we can clinch the division and make their whole dreams of week 18 fall apart immediately. It's very funny. What's up, Donnie? The next coming years for the Falcons, every corner they try to save money, they are going to get fucked. Pretty much, man. Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot with this. What is Matt Ryan's career status? Did he just? Yeah, well, Matt Ryan deserved a Super Bowl, 100%. He had really good career numbers. I tend to agree with what you said, Joe. He probably. Oh, you're good, man. You're good. Couldn't find parking. It happens. What time is it? Holy shit! I'm probably only gonna do a little bit longer here. I didn't realize we've been on for an hour and a half, so it's been a pretty long. It's almost 11 o'clock already. We will be live for tomorrow night too. Pretty good little Thursday night football game we got ahead. I mistyped that sentence. It was really bad grammar. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, but Joe, Matt Ryan probably should have won that Super Bowl, but his coach blew it for him. Yeah, the Eagles, apparently they figured out how to pass the football again, but I guess my prediction about the Eagles passing situation being bad was premature. I think there's one more for week 17. I don't think there's a Thursday night in week 18, though. Vikings. We all are preying on the Vikings' downfall. 28-3. There's nothing worse than space. You literally, especially because they broke it down so many times that, like, if they'd have literally just kneeled the ball every play, they'd have won the game. The purple incarnation of Satan. Pretty much, that's what they are. It seems like they have already, Ben, but we'll see if that was just because they were playing the Steelers, who they always seem to beat at home, so it was like a mental confidence. The Niners' downfall already happened, Ben. Shanahan. Yeah, it was more Dan Quinn's collapse. That's what Tom Grossi calls him. Yeah, I know, it's very funny. Yeah, I was gonna say, you can always tell who listens to Grossi and them by like by those like by the sayings like that. But yeah, I mean, I think everyone here watches Tom Grossi. I mean, he's like one of the only like actual like pretty solid like football guys. Him and his little group. Very, very actually unobjective. Like he's actually he does pretty good about bias. He's pretty good about trying to like, I don't know. He has his, you can tell his opinions are his own, which is very nice. And he knows ball, so that's pretty good too. Chiefs might fall victim to the 15-1, 6-2. Space. That's why I wanted the Chiefs to win out, to be honest. Yeah, no, literally, it's literally just if the Falcons had just kneeled it, they won the Super Bowl. If I have a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, do you know what plays I'm calling the entire second half? I'm literally running the ball every single play. I'm just literally going to run it. Be like, all right, guys, here's the game plan. We run every play, and you snap it when that play clock says 1. Don't even fucking dare snap it before I'll bench you and put the backup in. I'm not even fucking with you people. You say hike, you hand it to running back, he goes forward. If you start doing other shit, we'll just kneel it every play with the backup. We can win by doing nothing here. They physically can't fucking catch us if we just don't fuck up. And guess what? The Falcons proceeded to throw the football a whole bunch and fuck up. It's the most baffling blow of loss, because again, it's one of them things where literally they concluded that kneeling the ball would have won them the game. If they ran 0 plays other than kneeling it, and I think they had a short field possession. If they would have kicked that field goal, they'd have still won. It's stunning that happened in a Super Bowl. The Lions blowing that game too was kind of stunning. The Lions had just as bad as a choke, but I think it was like 28-10 at halftime, so it wasn't bad or something like that. Literally, the only thing saving the Lions is 1 touchdown. It's just like, Detroit, you almost had as bad of a blow as they did. But I think it was a lot close. It might have been 28-13 even. It wasn't nearly as bad, but it was pretty close. And it wasn't the Super Bowl, so yeah. Lions got away with that choke job. I've never seen a team matrix out of a choke job the way the Lions, because it was the Lions and because they'd basically never been there. Everybody gave them a pass on the choke job. If they do that again in the playoffs, though, I won't be. I'll even get it on the jokes, because that's not my favorite team. Tampa's a dark horse. I think that is more the thing. I don't think Tampa Bay beat the Lions. I think the Lions beat the Lions in that game. the Bucks almost blew that game on like 4 different opportunities, and the Lions they just refused to run the football all game for some reason. It was a really strange game by Detroit. They were trying all these very odd little weird throws all game. I'm not really sure what they were doing and what the point of that game was, but it was they did it again. They do it every second game of the year under Dan Campbell. They just look like complete fucking idiots. If you remember year 2 or 2 years ago, they had that very similar situation. I think it was the Bucks too. But in the second game of the season, they lost really weird after looking really good in week 1. They come out and they get their shit pushed in the second game, and then they go on a win streak for a minute. That's kind of how they've done the last 2 years. So I think the Lions beat themselves with really weird decisions and poor execution all game. And I think that was similar with your game, right? It's like you guys got the opportunity to win the game like the Lions could have won that game like 3 different times, like within the 2-minute drill. Even the Bucks kept giving them the ball back very quickly. And the Lions would get it all the way down to like the Buccaneers 40 and then like just stall out. It was just like, huh. So maybe you can kind of give some credit to the Bucks defense, but it's also like the Bucks defense hasn't been good this year. So it's like, no, Lions beat themselves in that game. And I think the Eagles did too. No, I think it's fine. I've often just thought to get rid of the onside kick altogether because it's a stupid play. And just make them run a 10-yard drive. Like, all right, you have 1 play to get 10 yards. If you get it, cool, you get the possession. If not, fuck you. That's it. You don't get the possession. I'm a big advocate for the 10-yard play. I'm a huge advocate for the 10-yard play. A team that's white hot on a comeback, all they got to get is 10 yards. Hell yeah, lob one up. Oh, do you know how much more exciting that shit would be? Everybody would like the one play. Everybody would like the one play. Bucks own the Eagles. Oh, they beat Wait, how bad did the Eagles win? Yeah, I like that the UFL does it. Philly won. Oh shit, I didn't know it was a blowout. Okay. Well, maybe it's just because like the Lions and the Bucks always play close games. Historically, they're rivals, I believe, because of old grouping and old divisioning. Okay. Philly got a blowout dub. I think also it's really hard for a team like the Buccaneers to beat a team like the Lions or Eagles twice in a year. Which is also why I really hope the Lions don't got to play the Packers or the Rams. Like if the Lions can avoid those 2 teams in the playoffs, we have a pretty good shot to go win the Super Bowl. Kind of just depends on what the health of both teams look like when they get to that game. I would like the I don't know. Until the Lions just lost to the Bills, they were also the last team to beat the Lions back in week 2. Buccaneers are a little shithead team. The fact that game is what is keeping the Eagles or the Lions and Eagles or the Lions ahead of the Eagles in the NFC. The fact that that's their only common opponent and they both lost to them. And if they have any other common opponents, they both beat them, obviously. But like that loss is like the thing that has them both fucked up. And why if like one team if like the Lions had beaten the Bucks and lost to one other team, it would have them ahead. Plus the Lions have an AFC loss. Which is the losses you want to suffer, actually, as long as you don't have a common opponent. Like if you like are playing a random AFC team like the Bills and the Eagles and the Vikings don't play the Bills this year, you literally can just lose that game for fun. Be like, oh well, fuck it, we lost that game, doesn't matter, won't hurt. Literally will not hurt us in the standings unless it's by we finished 11-6, they finished 12-5. And the teams have some favoritism with the officiating. Oh yeah, all the good teams do. You guys have rough favoritism in that Super Bowl against the Patriots. Oh, you guys, there's a conspiracy that you guys might have been playing by different rules. As some guy named Troy Vincent, I don't know if you remember him at all, is the head of officiating in the NFL basically, and was kind of controlling the officials in that Super Bowl. Well, whatever though. Falcons were unstoppable at the start of the year. When before Kirk's ankle got tired, he was killing the league. I can't remember specific games like that. All I remember is in that Super Bowl, there was a couple catches that you guys were called catches that if the rules had been followed from all season, it wouldn't have been a catch. However, the refs were interpreting what a catch was, seemingly on this like new understanding of what a catch was. And then that new understanding would become the new rule the following season. And it's one of those very complicated things when you look at it and you go, huh. Because it was week 2 and yeah. But yeah, when I was it's one of them things where it seems like Troy Vincent was telling the officials who he was in direct communication with about the officiating of that game to call their catches in a way that would be in accordance with the new catch rule, making them catches. Whereas if they had been ruled in accordance with the way the catch rule was for that season, they shouldn't have been catches. You think the Eagles had favoritism in the past Super Bowl because of the NFL? No, I think it's because Troy Vincent, a former Philadelphia Eagle and a member of your 2004, 2005 Eagles team, I believe, that lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And the whole team believes that we cheated to win that Super Bowl. And he 100% thinks we should have been punished more harshly and that our Super Bowl win should have been given to you guys in retrospect. He has some crazy beliefs about that game for like a fucking bench player or whatever he was. So Troy Vincent, former Eagle, member of that team, guy who feels he was cheated out of a Super Bowl win, starts working for the league and becomes like basically the head of rules. He makes the rules, controls the officials. Has a new rule for what a catch is that's going to go into place next season that a lot of people, and he even kind of hinted and admitted to this, that he was telling the officials to call it with the new rules instead of the old one. For the Eagles, not the Patriots. It was called 2 different ways. Yeah, I hate Troy Vincent with a burning passion. He's made it his life mission to destroy the New England Patriots. He's the one who is spearheading Deflategate. He's basically a fucking piece of shit. We want Troy Vincent should be fired and like investigated for corruption for what he's done to the Patriots. Like he's tried to take my team down for as long as he can, and all that happened was we fucking formed a second dynasty right in front of his stupid fucking bald ass. Fucking stupid bitch. He's got to be nervous. We're back. We got a new guy coming. Fucking loser. That's why we get so hosed by the officials nowadays, by the way, because of Troy Vincent. I genuinely hate that guy. I hope he loses his job. Like the NFL needs a Luigi. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I got to say about that. Like Luigi should have went for a different guy, you know. There's much more evil than insurance company CEOs. His name is Troy Vincent. No, I'll never do anything like that, but it would be really funny if Troy Vincent got milkied or something. Like somebody just slaps him on the top of his bald head and goes, "Milky," and he gets embarrassed like a little kid. He goes, oh. And he goes, wow. Just bops him one. Fucking rat. I hate that guy so much. Genuinely, I fucking hate that guy. He's made watching football really exciting, but also like really annoying now that my team sucks. It's like, fuck you, man. We can't even overcome your bullshit. It's also one of them fun facts that, did you guys know that Tom Brady is actually one of the least ever called roughing the passer quarterbacks? And that guys like Matt Ryan have like 70 more calls. It averages out that Tom Brady only got called roughing the passer like once or twice a season. Believe it or not. And again, you think I'm going to be lying to you. You can look this fucking stat. It's one of the craziest. Hold on. How many times did Tom Brady get? There's like a whole, right? Hold on. There's a really good chart. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Hold on. All right. So this tracks from 2009, which is a good up to 2024. So if we look at the most games, it'll be 253 played by Tom Brady, 243 played by Rodgers, 228 by Stafford, 227 by Matt Ryan, 212 by Russell Wilson. And you know what I mean? Like, you know, things are kind of swayed, right? So again, if you look at Brady's, it literally goes 5, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 5, 3, 3, 4, 0, 4, 1, 2, 0. Well, he didn't play in those 2 seasons. Now, does that sound like a guy who wins all of his games because of penalties? No, it's not at all. For Tom Brady, he had 9,725 drop back attempts, and it looks like he got called roughing the passer 35 times in 253 games. And a counterweight to that is Matt Ryan, who got called 220, who had 227 games and got called 57 times for roughing the passer. Do you see the difference there? Why do you think I always say, no, Matt Ryan was the most protected quarterback in the last 15 years in the NFL? And people will go, you're crazy. I'll be like, no, I'm not. I'm 100% correct. Fuck you. I know what I'm talking about. You don't. And no one ever believes me. But now I got raw data to prove it. This is the greatest sight I've ever seen in my whole life. Because now I can just be like, no, Brady's actually one of the least protected quarterbacks ever. And you can't disprove me. Per game, if you look at the least ever, it's people like Taysom Hill, Brock Osweiler. But look where Tom Brady winds up. Phillip Rivers is also substantially low. Where the hell's Brady at? Because this is the per game number. Tom Brady is at 0.138 calls per game. Per game in his career, it was that 0.138. Dude, look how low this shit is. Per sack, he might be one of the lowest ever, actually. Peyton Manning only got it called. Peyton Manning never got roughing the passer called. Yeah, it says, oh, well, Peyton Manning retired in 2015, so he's a little bit not the number to use. Sam Darnold gets this called more often than Brady does. You can look at sack per attempts. See what I mean? Look at it. Now, the only number that's suspicious is that most of them have come on third downs. I will kind of relent that. But we don't have to worry about that. It's like, wait a minute, Rob, did you just say a quarter of them motherfuckers came on third down, though? Hold on a second. That's a very, it's like, we don't got to worry about when the calls come because, you know, maybe teams make mistakes. It seems like they always happen on third downs. That's the funny part is like, you guys got to be critical of me when I start giving you data like that because I knew that third down number was there and I was going to just ignore it. But I'm an honest guy at the end of the day. Again, Tom was very rarely called for roughing the passer. The annoying thing that happens is only a quarter of the time it was on third down. So most of the times it wasn't even like in a critical long third down that we failed to convert. Like in that game against that violently radical man, Chris Jones, when he violently hit Tom Brady in the head. You know how hard he hit Tom Brady? Tom almost died of a broken skull. That's how he swung his fist like he went, bah! And everyone's like, it's like everyone tries to pretend like it was something else that it wasn't. He tried to kill Tom that day. I watched it. It's shocking they didn't suspend Chris Jones from the NFL, to be fair, after that. Just kick him out of the league. That was a very violent attempt at a sack. Yeah, Burrow should be the MVP this year. Even without the defense and having a bad team, they should just give the MVP to Burrow anyway. Yeah, Burrow's one of my favorites too. Well, Drake May's quickly coming up there. Well, Lamar is probably number one. And then I probably like Burrow. Then I like Drake May. And then I like Jared Goff. So those are my top fours right now. I got no use for that retard from Buffalo. Fuck that guy. I don't like Mahomes. I genuinely don't like the way those two play football. I know like they're very good, and that's kind of weird to say, but like they can't read defenses. They kind of just rely on big arms and mobility. I don't like that shit. Dude, watching Lamar play football is so fucking awesome. He's so disgustingly good at playing football. And then Burrow is the most like he's probably the most skilled quarterback in the NFL right now. Drake May looks like Josh Allen if Josh Allen understood that you can read a defense and make better throws by reading the defense. Like you don't have to just rely on your retarded animal human strength. Like your retarded rockman, like caveman strength to win all the time. Because that's what Josh does. He just runs like an idiot, and then somebody gets wide open and he hits him. Like the difference is with Drake May is Drake May seems to understand how to like read a defense and understand by that like running here, he drags the defense this way and it opens the guy up. I don't think Josh thinks like that. I think he's like, I go this way. Oh, I go this way. Oh, I go this way again. And I think that's how Mahomes does it too, by the way. I don't think they understand that. Like I think Lamar does, and I think Drake May do, and I think very specific running quarterbacks understand this, that you can pull a defense by scrambling. Brady and Jared Goff kind of understand this. Yeah, and Josh is he's just using his size. Whereas like guys like Drake May are trying to pull the defense away from the receivers. Whereas like you can see Josh, he's not trying to do that. It's literally him. He's looking for a hole to run through. Or maybe somebody gets wide open if he waits long enough. What's your score prediction for Sunday? The Bills probably win like 35-10 or something like that. It's not going to be pretty. Holy shit, I've been live for an hour, 50 minutes. All right, I'm probably going to start wrapping up, everybody. This stream went pretty long. Sorry if I kind of got ranty there at all. I hope it was a slightly entertaining stream. Sooners are up on Michigan. Oh shit. For football or is that basketball? But again, I get fired up about the calls. And the whole rough. I don't even know how I got on the rough and the passer stuff again. It always comes up. Oh, the Eagles and this Patriots Super Bowl stuff. Yeah. I think the Patriots have been the victims of poor refereeing for a while. It's just we had Tom Brady and that covered it up. And people always thought Patriots fans were like lying about that. It's like, no, we've been getting treated by the refs like this since before Brady was gone. Nobody believes us about it though for some reason. It's fucking crazy. This is the first year anybody's ever believed me about the Patriots getting bad calls. And it's like, you guys have to understand. I'm not even lying when I say this. It's been like this since Deflategate. Or literally since Spygate, actually. Literally since Spygate, we've been treated like this by the officials. Some grilled cheese and tomato soup with some... Oh, that sounds pretty good. Oh, no ham. That's all right. Just the vegan grilled cheese is always good. Or the vegetarian cheese. I had a steak tonight, so I'm fucking full. I'm probably going to have some snacks, though. I'm not sure what, though. I might have some popcorn with some nacho cheddar salt on it. That shit's so good. Or I'm going to pour a little bit of salsa to dip my popcorn in. One of those two outcomes. Or both. Because again, when you have the popcorn and it's nice and hot and it's still buttery and you dump that sauce, you dump any of those what fucking company? Like the current Mr. Colonel or whatever the fuck they are. Those salts are so good. Don't knock it till you try it. They're literally made from like the same thing, corn. They're just corn chips, and that's popped corn. The only thing that sucks is popcorn isn't very stable, so it'll be kind of breaky. But I'm telling you, it's way better than you think it is. And salsa's low calorie, and so are popcorns. Yeah, I know. Try them. Let me tell you. Next time you're gonna try it out, and you're gonna be like, "Damn it, that was way fucking better than I thought it was going to be." How the fuck does he eat like that? And that's I love eating popcorn and salsa. It started when I was a little kid, and like we'd run out of like we'd have like a big jug of salsa because that was like my favorite thing to eat was salsa. I really like eating, like I love salsa. It's my favorite like thing to eat. The flavor, it's got all this good shit in it. It's just it's delicious. But we couldn't always afford to get chips, and there was like 7 of us in the house, so the chips would go quick, and I would just fucking chill. And we always had like huge bags of popcorn seeds for some reason, and we had one of them old school poppers where you just like plug it in and then you like push the thing, you'd fill it with like seeds and it would heat up around it and be like poo 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 poo, and like it would shoot like raw little popcorns down. And I wouldn't even bother salting them because I didn't give a shit. I had what I wanted, a whole big bowl of popcorn. And then I just one day went I was like, what else can I use salsa with? I want to eat salsa, but I don't have no chips. So I was like, oh, I'll just make some popcorn and try that. And it was delicious. The saltiness is pretty crazy though. Yeah, so like, yeah, if you ever want to get like Mike said, and popcorn and jalapenos is good. Yeah, popcorn and spicy does go good. Slice of cheese with Miracle Whip. That's crazy. I don't like to eat sliced cheese like that. Unless it's like Swiss cheese. I like Swiss cheese when it's fucking sliced up like that. All right, though. I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I'm gonna be live. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a wild combo, kind of. Not too bad though. Yeah, that's all I got. All right, guys. I appreciate it. It was a fun stream. Went pretty good, I think. Best one we've done in a minute here, I think. That wasn't like a game stream, obviously. Appreciate everybody. It was fun. Thank you for all the likes that people left them. Hopefully people enjoyed it. I think we had a good chat. If you want to hear more about what we talked about at the beginning, it was kind of up there. I don't know. The main points here was we kind of talked about the AFC stuff. We kind of talked a little bit about this stuff. Mainly, it's just a lot will be figured out about these teams this weekend, I think. Eagles have a pretty tough game division-wise here. Seattle is not going to be easy for the Vikings. And then for the Lions, we'll see if they're like able to overcome kind of, the defensive woes. And again, I think they will be able to, mainly because it's basically now they're just their last year selves. It's just like, damn, we stripped away all of our good players. How the hell are we're going to basically have to win with the shit team? I think their worst injury is Aiden Hutchinson still, and obviously Derek Barnes, but All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your night. Great stream. Nice talking to everybody. I'll be live again tomorrow for the Thursday night football game, so hopefully some people stop in for that. I don't know when I'll be live after that because I don't know what day I'm going back to Flint. I'll have my computer and stuff so I can stream this weekend, but I will be in Flint for the Christmas stuff soon. So I'll keep everybody posted like usual. I'll see you guys around or tomorrow. Bye-bye. Go Lions. Go Tigers. Go Patriots. Best team of football. Yeah.